Hi, guys. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show. And today we're going to come right out of the gate with some stories written in by you to the show that are true supernatural stories that happen to normal people, just like you, just like me. And today we've got our first actual story I ever read. Charlie, he is back with another supernatural story. And he had told me that he's had a number of things happen to him in his life, and that reminds me of me because I've had a number of supernatural things, and a lot of it has led me to to do what I'm doing, which is telling, starting this channel and doing this. Is to It's not just about telling the stories. It's not just about um, it's not about entertainment really. What this is I'm going to be turning all this into spreadsheets and tracking all of this phenomenon. And ultimately, I'll be turning it into a book as well with my stories and all of y'all guys' stories. Over time, it's going to turn into a book. So, yeah, we want to learn something from this stuff. The stories are interesting and, yeah, they're kind of entertaining, of course, but we're here to learn. This is to learn what is the supernatural and how does it work. And the way that we can do that and learn it and become better understand it is by studying it. And that's what we're doing here. Of course, we're just getting started. This is the third episode of the Supernatural Show. And today we are live on YouTube, we're live on Telegram, and we're live on Facebook. So if any of you guys use Telegram or Facebook still. I don't know who still uses it hardly, but I decided to go ahead and use it to go live on. If you go onto one of those platforms and see this, please share it, and if you're on YouTube, please share it as well. So keep in mind that you can submit your own story, and you would do that by going to my website, the show website, which is the supernatural.show. Not .com, but .show. The supernatural.show. We're going to get right away into the story. And after the story, we've got three stories. And after the stories, we may try to do call in again. Try to do call in. If there's anyone out there that wants to call in, we'll give it a shot at least. I'm not. I'm nervous about the functionality of how the software and the call is going to go and all that. So, but we'll give it a shot, right? And get it figured out sooner or later. So, with that being said, Charlie is back. And like I said, Charlie's story number 2. And I just, you've seen probably the name of the video, about she had no skin and was on horseback. That's part of the story as well. Yeah. Really interesting story. And again, it's entertaining, but we're here ultimately, and we can't do so much in one story or whatever, but ultimately we want to combine all this together somehow and be able to understand what we're dealing with better, because I believe that's something I'm supposed to do, and that's why we're doing it. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to bring this up so I can see it a little bit better here, and we'll get right on into the story here. Okay. And after each story, I'll go over and look at the comments because I can't see them at the moment, and I'll highlight some of your comments as well into the video. So, what was it that freaked my coon dogs? Okay. Okay. Of course, the writer was Charlie. This is his second story that he submitted about another event that happened in his life that he wants to share with us. And Charlie, thank you very much for sending this in, and you're in a safe place, and we're going to share some knowledge with people because that's what we're doing. All right, so here we go. Hello, brother. Okay, this happened in 1975. My family was living in northern Missouri in a little town called Valdea, I think, Vandalia, something like that, right? I was 15 years old. It was in the middle of November, and up there by then it was getting pretty dang cold. I know some people may be offended by what I was doing, and again, this man was 15 at this time, but offended by what I was doing, and I'm sorry for that. So back then, coon hunting was a big thing to most of the men and young boys as myself. In all honesty, back then, a good sized coon would bring a minimum of $35, and a big coon could get you $50. So you understand why now. Now, my dad really didn't care much for me being out in the woods in the middle of the night, and neither did my brother. So most of the time, I went by myself. Back in them days, most boys by 15 were driving all over, and I was no exception. On this particular night, which was a Friday, I told my mom and dad my plans. They weren't surprised because I went 3 or 4 nights a week. The season lasted 8 weeks, and yeah, school sure got in the way of what I wanted to do. Okay, to this particular night, I decided to go to a place called Motley's Bottoms. It was only a few miles from the house, and believe me, I knew this place literally like the back of my hand. It was a big forest, and from where I parked the truck, if I faced north, it was 10 miles to the next road, and east and west about the same. The first thing I always did was let the hounds out to do their business. My dad always had a couple of coon hounds, and now I know they were for me. A blue tick and a black and tan, big dogs, and they were not afraid of much. It was around 10 p.m. when I got started. I headed north down an old creek that went for miles and miles. It was only about 25 yards wide. As I said earlier, it was cold and the creek was frozen. Snow was about 3 inches, but froze hard, so when you walked, it was loud. After about 3 hours, my dogs had treed 3 coons, and it was turning out to be a good night. I would just stretch the coons out on the ground beside the creek, and I would pick them back up on my way back. Even being a young man, that a 40-pound coon was pretty heavy. It was about 2 a.m., and I was about 3 miles from the truck. It was real quiet. I was trying to hear the dogs off in the distance, but nothing. Super quiet. All of a sudden, I could hear the dogs coming fast. They were running for their lives, it looked to me, like something was after them. They ran up to me and just whined and cried. I had never seen them act that way. Never. They were scared to death. Okay, a little thing I forgot to mention was the lights I always had. I had a carbine light on my hat and a long spotlight that held 8 batteries. I used it to spot the coons in the trees. Anyway, I was standing there. uh, Excuse me. Anyway, as I was standing there, I seen something moving to my left on the other side of the creek. I turned my light on to get a better look at it, and all I could see was something coming up the creek. It was white and big. I was thinking, man, is that a horse? You have to understand, with the snow on the ground, it wasn't that dark. I could see pretty good. I kept watching this thing get closer to the creek, but I didn't realize it was making no sound at all. None. As it got to the creek, I could see it clear, and yep, it's a horse, but someone was riding it. Now I know this is hard to believe, and I have no explanation, but this horse and rider which was all white, was like gliding over the ground, really a galloping speed. It crossed the creek and passed no more than 20 yards in front of me. This is where it got creepy, and I mean creepy. I had the spotlight right on the person riding. It was a woman, and she had on a long, white, real puffy dress like the ones women wore back in the day. When they passed in front of me, I was looking right at her, and man, she was a skeleton. No skin. As she passed, she turned and looked right at me. I nearly wet myself. What was even more crazy was as they passed by me, they simply faded out, like slowly faded. The dogs, like me, seemed to be frozen and could barely move. My mind was racing, and in a few seconds, I could feel my body starting to move. Remember when I said I was about 3 miles in? Me and the dogs started running, and back then I was in great physical condition. No drugs, no alcohol. We ran nonstop all the way to the truck. When we got there, I turned one more time to see if anything was coming, and that is when I seen my first orb. It was about 100 yards out and just hanging there, just above the trees. It was white. It sat there for about it sat there for a minute or so and just blinked out. Was it an angel? Did it make sure I made it out? From that day forward, I have witnessed so many of them that I have lost count. I see orbs weekly, in broad daylight and night. Bless you all, and peace be with you, Charlie. It's like, to me, over time, a lot of times when these things happen, you end up being able to look back at it and realize why it happened and what it was trying to tell you. The difficult part is when you're in the middle of it and it's happening, you're just bumfuzzled. You have no idea what's going on here and why this is happening. And I mean, I've just had so many things happen that looking back at it, I go, I see why that one happened. I see why that one happened. Especially with what I've been through in the last while now. So it's going to be interesting to document these things in like spreadsheets, which I'm going to be sharing with all of y'all guys. The data as I pull it all together. So I hope anyone that's out there that has a story, just simply, the only qualifying thing is it just has to be true. No matter what happened, and no matter how crazy or insane or ridiculous even it sounds, as long as it's true, I want to hear about it. And the way that I hear about it is by you simply submitting it at the website. You know, this. The choice there to submit it. And you can also, below that, you can submit, if you have a lead on a story that you want me to know about, you can submit those there as well and give me a link. And that's at the bottom past the initial full story submission area. Okay. All right. Now, I know at least several of you that are going to be very happy with the next story because in my first episode, I started reading Laura's story. And we're going to now read the entire story because I had the slides messed up on the first episode. But now, Laura, your story is going to be read. And Charlie, again, thank you very much, my brother, for being now 2 stories. If you have another true experience that you would like to share, please go ahead, go back to the website and submit it, you know. Or if it's inconvenient, you can just respond to a previous email. I'll still get it. It just doesn't work with my statistics system the way I have it set up. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do Laura's supernatural story. Past mother visits family. Okay. For some reason, I think I might be still missing a story. Because, anyways, we'll read this. Laura, thank you so much for submitting this and trusting me with reading it and taking you seriously and believing you. And Laura wasn't sure if this was supernatural or not, but absolutely. There's so many things that can fit into what is supernatural or what is not supernatural that there's just so many things, so many categories, and that's what I'm fascinated by is I want to understand it. And I think we should all want to understand the unseen things that are going on in this world that are considered to be crazy talk. Um, I think it should be taken more seriously because the ones in charge in this world that are running things don't want us to know really about these kinds of things or to understand or attempt to figure them out. So again, thank you very much, Charlie. Thank you, Laura, for sending this in. And let's get started with Laura's story. Okay. Two young girls, ages 6 and 8, had very supernatural visions during a 1 week period. And now I'm thinking I'm starting to figure out where I got my two stories mixed up. The stories are right, what I'm going to read, but the label, the title is incorrect. The past mother visits family, I think that's incorrect. But anyways, so I apologize about that, Laura, if I got that mixed up. Let's keep going though, because this is Laura's story. Two young girls, ages 6 and 8, had varied supernatural visions during a 1 week period. The sisters shared a bedroom with two twin beds. And I know I said I was going to go to the comments in between the stories, and I didn't, but I will as soon as we get done with this. See, I'm still new, getting used to this pattern of behavior and trying to figure out what I should do and what's best or not. Okay, during a 1 week period, the sisters shared a bedroom with two twin beds. Looking out the bedroom door past the hallway was a staircase. The older sister had repeated nightly visions of spiders, dogs, and other scary dark creatures on the bedroom door. The creatures at the end of her the creature and creatures at the end of her bed. While they were both wide awake, the eldest was having dark visions. The younger girl tried to comfort her while she saw nothing scary. During that same week, the younger sister was seeing over and over each night a beautiful woman in a long, flowing, layered white gown. With the bedroom door open, the younger girl could see the end of the staircase leading upstairs. Each night, the flowing, ghostly vision of a bride or princess would walk slowly toward her bed, while the eldest sister never saw the woman. Each night, the younger sister would watch the woman walk closer and closer to her bed. Then she would get scared and pull the covers over her head. When doing so, the woman would quickly disappear. 1, 2, 3, 4 nights, and she allowed the woman closer and closer to her bed each night, becoming braver and braver, till finally she allowed the woman to reach her. The woman stood right beside her, looking lovingly down at the child. In between the youngest's visions, the elder was still seeing the bats and spiders. She was terrified from what she saw. Of course, the parents said they were dreaming. The two sisters now are much older, me being the youngest. I now believe I know what the woman brought me that sacred night, and while my sister saw spiders. The road to Damascus is one example of a vision shown two ways. Paul saw Jesus, while the others saw something else. This same example goes for several documented biblical visions. The woman is the woman is white. The woman in white brought me an eternal and sacred supernatural gift, a magical eternal pearl, pure and holy. For whatever reason, I had the heart to receive it. I had the sorry guys, I had the heart to receive it, to later water and nurture, to put it to good use as I have. The woman was the mother of pearls. The pearl she gave me brought with it a great calling to spend many years being about my Father's will. All of the works I did, prompted by the mother pearl, pertain to this time and for now, and for this time now, mainly the last 12 years. The end of the age is here. Laura. Yeah, that is amazing, because I know people who have seen things and other people couldn't see them and they were right in front of them. And I've even had experiences like that where I could see something. Like a few times I've been able to see ghosts. My left eye, I don't have the ability to focus directly on something. All I have is peripheral vision. Good peripheral vision, but only peripheral vision in my left eye. My right eye, I can focus directly on things. But my left eye allows me I can literally close my right eye and I can see things with my left eye that the right eye can't see. The left eye sees, in the past, I've seen apparitions, like ghosts, like something in the form of a human body in the dark, kind of in a darkish room, and it vibrates. It's like really vibrating, like an energy kind of thing, but in the general shape of a human being. And I've had that kind of experience quite a number of times. So it kind of makes me think of that. But the one person seeing it one way and the other is very interesting, and the other person seeing it a different way. Yeah, all very interesting. And I thank you very much, Lori. And Lori sent an image, so I thought I'd go ahead and share that as well. I don't know if this is a website of hers or maybe her friend or someone that is in her family, but I looked at it real quick. I can't vouch for any and everything on there, of course, but there it is, Laura. I appreciate you um, sending that story in. And if you have another true story of supernatural nature, I would love to see it as well. Right? Okay, now let's look at the chat for a second and just see what kind of comments we got in there. And yeah, we got some in there. Let me gaze through kind of quick and just show a few things as I'm going through. Oh, I see a friend of mine in there, Alicia. Alicia is an interpreter for the deaf, and she helped me do a few years back. She did the interpretation for a video I did called Operation Radiation, and I'm still thankful for what she did. She did a fantastic job, and again, I thank you so much. Let's see here. What else we got? And then we're going to go to another story. Linda says that I saw white orbs and then found out my ex-husband had passed. Yeah, that's, and y'all guys know, most of you know that I've seen them a bunch of times. Um, they've come to me by the water's edge, like in the book of Daniel, or on the mountaintop, like in Exodus with Moses, the burning bush. I showed y'all guys a video in episode 2 of the Supernatural show with some guys up on a hilltop and the big ball of light right up above the guys. Could you imagine that that could be interpreted as a burning bush? And it stated that it was an angel there that God was speaking through in that story, right? So, so yeah, I definitely believe that some of these lights we see in the heavens are actual deities, angels, the ones that show up and are stationary, and a lot of times there's multiple of them will appear, and there's a spark that happens right before they appear, as I've told y'all guys before. And yeah, that's what we're talking about. So let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. I'm kind of curious about that too. What is that? OCYO? I'm not sure what that means exactly. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, always looking, man. That's all we really truly have to gain in this world is that's worth anything really is knowledge, and that's why I'm nonstop 7 days a week for a decade now, over a decade, probably about 11 years of trying to improve my knowledge and understand myself, understand my spirituality, understand my connection with God, understand the world, the WHIRLED, the world. There's a reason why they changed the spelling on that because the actual word world describes the storm that we exist in and also the storm that our Father in heaven exists in. And that's why the Bible says he speaks out of the storm, out of the whirlwind. Yep. All right. Just showing a couple more here, and then we're going to go ahead and move on. Oh, I see another friend. Soul 7 Music. Yes, indeed. That is Shannon. How you doing, my sister? Shannon has actually agreed to do a little co-hosting with me. So here in the next day or two, you're going to get to meet Shannon, which actually some of you will remember her from a few years back, again related to Operation Radiation, um, around that area of time. But um, yeah, she's going to come on and do a little co-hosting with us. Let's see. Shannon says, I saw a physical angel like the stories in the Bible right before the 19 lockdowns. I saw lights flash for 3 days before it happened. Speaking of lights flashing, a number of the times when I've been at the beach, um, there would appear angels, orbs of light, the hosts of the heavens. They would appear above me up in the sky, and then they would pulse. And it was just, there was no sound, but it lit up the ground just like it was daylight for like a half a second. And one night I seen it happen 3 times. Was this pulsing, which amazing. I've seen them throw lightning out and strike the ocean. I've seen them streak across the sky and leave pixie dust, and I've seen them flash like that, and other things that they've shown me that they can do, as well as I'm sure they've saved my life numerous times. So y'all guys that have these stories and have seen these orbs, then write in. Come on. Write me the truth. Send the story. Let me read it. Let us gain knowledge. Ain't that why you're here on this channel? share your knowledge with the others so that they'll be encouraged to share theirs with y'all guys. This is how it works. This is something that needs to be done. There's nobody out there doing what I'm doing right here that I can find anywhere on the internet that's true, honest people submitting supernatural stories and events that have happened to them throughout their life. If you know of where one's at, send me a link to it. I want to see it, because I don't think nobody much out there is telling the truth these days. It's a bunch of liars. Okay, let's see. Capital G says, I haven't seen orbs, but I know friends that have. My brother saw what looked like the moon, exact image, but it was hovering right above the tree line over Joint Base Lewis McChord. Yeah, of course, military's got various things, but I know for an absolute fact that the military, U.S. military, ain't following me around producing light orbs out of nowheres dependably. It just ain't happening. I know what they are. They're described as bright white and round all about in the Bible, and they're described in the book of Enoch as being, wait a minute, I get it backwards, but Ezekiel's wheel describes them. I've got a documentary that's over on BitChute. Maybe I'll play it here one day on one of our episodes. But yeah, documentary that shows probably 60 different accounts, different times that people have filmed these angel orbs and the different things that they're doing. And some of the things that they're doing, one of the things that really blew my mind was in Japan. What they did in Japan when the tsunami happened, there was a helicopter up above filming the tsunami coming in, and lots and lots of people were drowning and dying. And there were orbs of light going in and out of the water, bloop, 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 going in and out of the water. And the helicopter filmed it and didn't even know he was filming it. And there were a few up in the sky flying around as well that the helicopter was able to capture. And that's on BitChute on the Logic Before Authority channel on BitChute. You can go there, and if you happen to be new, you're welcome to come and join me on that channel as well. And go over on BitChute or Rumble and look up my channel, the Logic Before Authority channel, and you'll find a lot of videos that are some of my best work. But of course, my best work is always banned from YouTube. Let's hope that don't happen with these videos. All right, let's see here. One more comment, and then I'm going to go back and read the next story. I'm going to read Metal Mama Sue's story. All right, let's see what Shannon's got to say again here. Joy, like when Abraham encountered the angels and ate food with them, he was like a person in flesh, but so beautiful and perfect, no wings. But I went to touch him and something stopped me. Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like they have the ability to take human forms. And I'm sure there's been some times that I've helped what appeared to be homeless people, like literally on the street homeless. I'm one step from that, but I ain't quite there. And all my thanks goes to my Father in heaven and to y'all guys, my brothers and sisters, because I'm telling you, I would be there if it wasn't for y'all guys. So you deserve a lot of credit. Oh, his voice is mesmerizing. You can't be talking about my voice, Alicia. No. All right, let's see. Okay, let's go to Metal Mama Sue's story, okay? Well, you got that website, Laura's website, the one I put up there for a while. That's quite a piece of promotion for you there. All right, so let me blow this back up so I can see it, so I won't be able to see comments for a few minutes. And let's see what we got going here. Metal Mama Sue's own YouTube story. So she has a channel on YouTube. You guys might want to check it out, especially if you like her story. All right, let's get going here. She says, "Hi, Daniel. I don't know if this qualifies as supernatural." And this is the one I was thinking about. That I was getting confused with Laura's story about whether she thought it was supernatural or not. So, yeah, obviously the one with apparitions coming in your room, that's definitely supernatural. And so is this. It's a good story. I don't know if this qualifies as supernatural, but it's all as real as anything I've ever experienced, and I will never forget it. I'm not telling this story for sympathy or pity. It's been over 40 years since I lost my mom, and I've made my peace with it. I will always miss her, but I have two grown sons of my own now. Somehow you keep going one day and one step at a time, and life goes on. You know, it changes your life in ways you never imagined, and things are different without a parent. But you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I was 18 when I lost her. She and her friend she worked with were riding their bicycles one evening after dinner, and an older man who wasn't paying attention to his driving hit her and her friend with his car. Her friend was injured, but she recovered. My mother had a serious closed head injury that caused immediate brain swelling and then brain death. 9 days after the accident, we had to take her off of life support. Ugh, I remember when my mom passed. Don't get me talking about that. I'll be crying. She was 39. It was November 4th, 1982, when she died, and the official end of my childhood. I had a sister and two brothers, and my father. We were all devastated by her loss. There were several weird things that happened. The first one was 2 days before her accident. I had just started nursing school a month and a half before the accident, and my boyfriend from high school was going to technical school that was in the same direction, but about 20 minutes further from where I went to nursing school. There were four of us from the same high school that would carpool. The Sunday before the accident, I had a very strange, intense feeling that something bad was going to happen to my boyfriend. And I got uncharacteristically upset and begged him to drive safe and be careful. He was concerned about me being so upset and promised he would be careful. My fear was very real and very unusual. 2 days later was my mom's accident. It was like I had a premonition, but about the wrong person. The first month was like a blur of grief. But after a month went by, my boyfriend and I decided to go out for the first time since her death. We went out for the evening, had a good time, and he brought me back home. We sat in the car talking for a while before we went inside. I said to him that I really felt my mom's presence. It was very comforting, and I felt like she was telling me that it was good to keep living and to enjoy a night out. I felt very calm and at peace for the first time since the accident. Then, when we went inside and sat down at the table to talk to my dad for a while, he was grieving badly. He truly loved my mom, and it was hard to suddenly become a single father of four kids. My older brother was 19. I was 18. My sister was 13, and baby brother was 11. Wow. He talked some And then all of a sudden he said, "This might sound weird, but I really feel your mother's presence tonight. I feel very comforted and like she is with us, letting us know it's okay to keep on living and be happy." My boyfriend turned pale. His eyes got huge and he looked at me. Then my dad looked at me and then my dad and said, "Sue just got done saying the same exact thing to me." I know beyond any doubt that God was with us. He sent my mother's spirit to comfort us, and her spirit was with us that night. Over the next few months, I would have dreams where my mom would just visit us. And she always said she couldn't stay, but she was okay, and she loved us and wanted us to be happy and live our lives. My sister had dreams like that as well. I know God sent her to us in our dreams to comfort us, and it did. They were like a visit we badly needed from our mom. The things that happened around the time of my mother's death are what truly convinced me that God is real and there is definitely a higher power at work in our lives. Many blessings to you, Daniel, and everyone on this channel. I didn't check yes or no, but if you want me to, I would be willing to speak about it over a call. It's totally your decision. I'm not offended in any way if you don't think reading my story or calling in would add anything beneficial to your vision for the channel. If you decide to use it, you can omit this paragraph. I just thought I would share it as an example of how God works in our lives when we most need it. From Sue, aka Metal Mama Sue on YouTube. My brother said he's seen my father had passed. I was the baby boy when it come to my family, and still am, even though I'm 54. Um, I haven't had a thing like that, but yet I know that, like what you're saying, Sue, is real. They are there. When we pass, our body goes back to the soil, but we all have a soul that continues on, and there is no need to be fearful of death. Death will come when it's chosen, and it will not come until that moment, because our Father in heaven has all of us in his hands at any given moment. And I know this because I've done some dumb things in my life and literally should be dead numerous times. And I've talked about those stories a little bit before, but I'm going to be telling some of my stories, at least one per video, uh, coming up in the next video. So, yeah, I'm very aware. And I thank you so much, Sue, Metal Mama Sue on YouTube, for writing in and sharing your truth. And I'm sure others out there have experienced things like this. And if you have, write in and tell us about it. We want to know. Even though we heard Sue's story, we want to hear your story. So write in, go to the website, quit putting it off, and write in and tell us your story so that others can learn and know that these things are real and that they're out there. And Father is right there with us all the time. And if it's not your day to die, you can't make it happen. Yeah, sure, you can go try to shoot yourself, but if Father says no, the bullet won't go off. That's I know that to be a fact. Not because I've tried to shoot myself or I'm suicidal or ever have been, but I just know it to be a fact. So, all right. Ooh, let's see. What are we going to do now? We are going to. Anybody out there um, feel like calling in and telling a news story? Um, is that you, Charlie? Let me see. I wonder if this is the Charlie. I got a feeling that it probably is. Yeah. Y'all got to say hello to Charlie. And I don't know if you got any videos up on your channel, Charlie, but, y'all guys check him out if he does. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Let me share my screen with you real quick. And I'm going to show you around something real quick. If I can make this work. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I've shared it before, but there's new viewers every time. Every time I do this show, the numbers are growing. I can see them growing. We're making progress. So this is the website, guys. It's the supernatural.show. If you come over here, you can click on submit story. Here, I'll make this full screen so you can see just a little bit better. There we go. Submit story. You can go over there and you'll see where you can come here and enter your information and your phone number, and I may be even, depending on the situation, would be calling you. You get to choose as to whether you'd like to tell it live, where you can come in and tell the story either by audio call in or even by calling in and maybe come into a chat room, that kind of thing, where we can see you. So you can choose that, or yes or no if you'd like to tell your story live on air, or you can just leave it as undecided if you want to. Then you come in here, tell your whole story, let it all out, okay? And then there's a button here where you can attach a file if you want to. Yeah, the file. So like if you have a video clip, you can attach it and I'll get it. I'm not sure if it'll do multiple files in one upload, but you could try. And then there's a spot at the bottom here where you can put in what it says is URL. So if you have a link to maybe a video you did or whatever, if it's related to the story, you can send it to me. And then if we go down below that, past this yellow bar, okay, if you have a lead on a story you'd like me to look at or look into, or something that's related to supernatural, okay, I'll take a look at it. You can just put in your name, first name or nickname, put your email, any description you want to tell me or anything you know about it, and then put the link down there for me and hit submit. And I'll get that as well in a separate folder, which I look at every day. So make sure to check that out. What I'm using right now when it comes to call-ins, I got a few different options that I can choose to use or try to use. One is called Jitsi. It's Jitsi, and it's a live video conference room, but I can also use it for just audio by call-ins. Like you just call in and talk to me like, well, just on the phone, and we can have a conversation just like a regular conversation, but you would be live on the channel if it all works out. I think I may have to do an episode where I'm just gonna try it, because again, I'm not seeing anybody saying that they want to call in, although I know not everyone is logged in that's watching this likely. But I'm sure we'll have some people calling in soon enough. I ain't worried about it. We've just got to get the show off the ground, which is just a matter of producing a lot of episodes. Speaking of that, if we come back over here real quick, if we hit the show schedule, because I keep adding things to the website, so I'm updating y'all guys. Right now, I'm planning 4 shows a week. As this gets rolling, I can see already that that's going to be a lot. Right now, I'm planning on every Sunday 3 to 4, every Tuesday 3 to 4, every Thursday 3 to 4, every Saturday 3 to 4. And that may change depending on various factors. Okay. And let's see. Yeah. And of course, I have all my links to ways that you can support not only this work, but my decade of work on my original channel. Well, my original was actually called the Idaho Picker, and then it went to Logic Before Authority, and it was called the Idaho Picker because I used to go out and buy antiques and stuff and sell them out west, and fix them up, sell them, stuff like that. So when the picker thing was in, right? But I didn't really like that name, so I changed it. Now, also now I have, let me click on live here. I'm going to be setting it up so you can even watch it on the website, the live stream itself on the website if you wanted to. But all the videos and episodes of the Supernatural Show will be on here, okay? And you'll be able to watch them. Just click it on them and pick one if you missed it. Or you can go to YouTube, or you can go to Facebook, or you can go to Telegram, wherever you want to go. And I'll be posting them some other places too as well. Let's see what else we got that I might want to show you. Going to be holding some classes here soon, so we can have deep discussions one-on-one. And also, I've got a business inquiry page set up as well, because with the Supernatural Show, one of the things, guys, I'm trying to do is I'm trying to relieve the financial, relieve some or all of the financial help that y'all guys have provided me. Like right now, I'm in the position where I need y'all guys' support again. And I don't enjoy coming and having to ask for help. I know it's okay. I know it's righteous as long as I'm doing work for our Father in heaven, like I've been doing. I know it's okay, and I know a lot of you enjoy helping me and being part of what I'm doing, but I still just don't. I want to relieve some of that pressure off of you, and I've got to get out of the situation I'm in right now. It's too expensive being in a hotel room, and it's just not good. I need to get out of this, and I want to get an RV or something that I don't have any rent on, don't have to pay for. And we'll talk about that some more another time. But the doing business page is various options that someone who wants themselves exposed on my channel, you've got an opportunity to get in at the floor level right now, where things are, well, probably as cheap as I'm ever going to have them. And likely, as the channel grows over time, likely I'm sure I'll raise the prices, right? But you can come here and check that out if you happen to have any interest in anything like that. And you can submit a contact request, basically, and I'll give you a call and we'll talk about whatever it is that you might be interested in, or maybe you have your own idea that I haven't thought of. So, okay. And guys, I hope you guys are enjoying the stories. I hope y'all guys will continue to submit your stories. I see Ken said, I saw the tribulation, a must see. Not sure what you're referring to there, but if that's the story you can tell us, please do. Let's see, I'm looking at a couple of other comments here. The Stupendous Chumley, I'd be happy to have a video chat with you. just have to schedule some time to fire up the generator. All right. Well, I'd love to hear from you. Go on the website, click on submit story, and just let me know what you want to do and that you want to speak live, have a video chat, and I'll give you a call. I'll contact you and we'll set it up. Okay. So yeah, that sounds great. Let's see here. Truth Seeker Rachel, would you share your link in the subscription to the website where you sign in? To the subscription to the website where you sign in. I'm not sure which website you're asking. Where you sign in, you mean like, I don't have a sign in members only area on my website yet. That may come. Are you referring to YouTube, or are you referring to, not quite sure what you're referring to there, Rachel? Maybe you can drop another comment. I might understand better. Oh, there's one, I think. Here it is. You should share the link to your website sign in the description area of these videos. I'd click it for sure. Okay. Website sign in. Okay. I'll see what I can do about setting something up like that. I think I know what you're talking about. So thank you, Rachel, for the suggestion. Yes, God knows. Bradley said, God knows we got to be able to help ourselves and help others. Indeed. So, guys, don't forget, go submit your stories, and any appreciation, whether it's $1 or anything that you can share with me to keep me floating. I'm telling you, I need it really bad. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into it on this video here, but yeah. All right, guys, I love you. I'm gonna get out of here. Start working on it and getting ready for another horse. Thank you to all the guests that were on here today. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Laura. And thank you, Metal Mama Sue, for your stories. I greatly appreciate all of your guys' contributions to what I'm doing. And I love you all. And I'll see you again real soon. I'll be back. We're going to get nailed down on the schedule here soon, and I'm going to hold it consistently as I possibly can. Okay? I promise. I've said some things in the past where I was going to do this or that, and once you know the whole story of what I've been through in the last 6 months to a year and a half, you'll understand why I was not able to do the things at the moment, at those times I wanted to do. It just wasn't possible. I love you. Our Father in heaven loves you. And we'll talk to you again real soon here on the Supernatural channel, right? All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.